Anyway, there's some things I do want to talk about. A few years ago, I used to like to read about UFOs and sightings and stuff like that, and I came up with all kinds of ideas about it. Then I started doing my research. I looked into old alien artifacts and old statues they have at the Smithsonian today. Kind of a side issue, but part of the story I want to get to. Anyway, as I started to look, I started to find traces and things about some people call the New World Order. And I started digging deep into it, and deep and deep and deep. And I'm pretty convinced that we've had some pretty advanced technology for at least 75 years now. I don't believe for a second that a jet fuel engine is the best that we have today. And we're still driving around in cars. And I found all the devices that create the free energy, and it kept leading me down the road of the truth. I think that the military does. I think some military do have advanced fighters and advanced craft. They already have one that has its own AI now that can fly, that they're letting you see, and that's just a cheap piece of junk compared to what they really have. My point of this is that you can go and do some research yourself if you like, but from what I found out, I think that Carol Rosin is a friend of mine. She was from this Disclosure Project. She was talking about the space-based weapons, and she talked about Oppenheimer and a couple other scientists that I actually know a little bit about. And she said something about a false flag, that it would be, I don't know, a Cold War with Russia, then there would be rogue nations, and then next would be terrorists, and the next after that would be an asteroid scare. And it kept saying a final card would be a false alien attack. I thought she was kind of crazy when I heard about it, until I started to do some of my research on it, and they do have a lot of space-based weapons. Actually, they have a lot that we don't know about that is, I think, should be given to us. Anyway, I believe that the government will be the one that will pull the false flag on the alien attack, or whatever they want to call it. And I thought to myself, well, what kind of devices do you think they're flying around in? And some of Tesla's work and some of the other work I do know about, they do have anti-gravity devices 75 years ago. Just imagine what they have now. And just think if it was the military that had these kind of crafts. Now, what would you do? What would you do, and anybody, if these crafts just suddenly appeared at all the major cities and they just sat there in the sky, you know, like Independence Day? I think people would freak the fuck out. Excuse my language, but I think people would freak out. I think that's about all it would take for people just to say, you know what, forget it. Even the Congress, people that work for the state, all the representatives, everybody. Hell, might even bring the president to his knees. Think about it. Giant ships over sky, just hovering there. I just thought I'd like to put this out there because I actually know that they do have some things that are very similar to that, and they could pull it off if they wanted to. Anyways, that's my thoughts.